If you want to remove the bad part of coffee, you decaffeinate. If you want to remove the offending aroma from a room, you deodorize. And if you want to give the award issued by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to a more deserving recipient, you must DeOscarize the current holder. As the year 2015 looms, I come to realize that the films of the early 1980s are over 30 years old now. That means they're close to being classic films, if they're not already. And that is perhaps why DeOscarize.com hasn't really paid much attention to them because, well, to me, the movies I saw in the 1980s still feel like yesterday. However, they were not seen yesterday, and it sure doesn't feel like yesterday to the majority of the people who now control everything. Nevertheless, there are some movies and movie performances that, to my mind, did not deserve an Academy Award in the 1980s. That's what I thought then, and I must say that time seems to be proving me right. For instance, the music that you're hearing should tell you that I would like us to consider my intention to DeOscarize Chariots of Fire Best Picture 1981. Am I sensing gasps of shock? They do love it so in Europe. They've made a play out of it. But is it a hit? Not yet. The music might just sell the play, just like it sold the movie way back in 1981. Has a piece of music not sold a movie before? Of course it has. What about A Summer Place? What about You Light Up My Life? And what about Chariots of Fire? It was the opening scene that won the award for the film because that music by Vangelis was playing over the viz. Now, play that viz sometime without the music. Are you as impressed as everyone was in 1981? Not so much. So I say people went to see Chariots of Fire because of the music. That's what made it a hit. But what impressed the members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences that year was that the film had a production budget of only $15 million, which even in 1981 was small change, and it made almost $59 million at the box office. Meanwhile, Warren Beatty spent 2 years and $32 million to make the epic film Reds, also nominated for Best Picture that year. Here's the thing. Whenever a movie gets a Best Picture award, but its director doesn't win Best Director, there's something not quite right, and usually it's the movie. It happened in 1940. Rebecca won Best Picture, but John Ford won Best Director for The Grapes of Wrath, which should have won for Best Picture, and finally did win new Best Picture 1940 at DeOscarize.com. I think there's a similar situation here between Reds and Chariots of Fire, because Warren Beatty won Best Director 1981 for Reds. Reds also had a Best Actor nomination, a Best Actress nomination, Best Supporting Actress winner.
I want to thank my family, my friends, and everybody I ever met in my entire life.
And a Best Supporting Actor nomination as well as Warren Beatty's win. Chariots of Fire had one acting nomination, which lost to Sir John Gielgud in Arthur.
Hobson?
Yeah?
I'm going to take a bath.
I'll alert the media.
No acting awards, no directing award, yet it still gets Best Picture. It was the song and the profit margin that did it, and frankly, that's just not good enough for posterity's sake. I believe Reds should have won Best Picture 1981 because of its vastness of location and theme, its amazing cast of wonderful actors, and its unique and compelling technique of incorporating testimonials of real figures, witnesses who were intimate with the times and the characters portrayed. You may recall the folks who produced When Harry Met Sally used that same technique to great effect.
Oh, We were both born in the same
In
hospital.
1921.
7 days apart.
In the same hospital.
We both grew up
We
one
both
block
lived
away
in
from each
tenements.
other on the Lower East Side.
On Delancey Street.
My family moved to the Bronx
He
when I
lived on
was 10.
Fordham Road.
Hers moved when she was
I
11.
lived on 183rd Street.
For 6 years, she worked on the 15th
I worked for
floor
a very prominent
as a nurse,
neurologist.
where I had to
Mr.
practice
Fendelman.
on the 14th floor of the very same building.
Never met.
Never met.
Can you imagine that?
You know where we met? In an elevator.
I was visiting
In the
family.
Ambassador Hotel in Chicago,
He was on the
Illinois.
3rd floor. I was on the 12th.
I rode up 9 extra floors just to keep talking to her.
9 extra floors.
I'll have what she's having.
Also, as the disparity of incomes between rich and poor increases, as the middle class disappears, Warren Beatty's Reds is even more relevant today than it was during the beginning of the end of the middle class, which was thanks to that dreadful Reagan administration.
Here you go again.
My fellow Americans, I'm pleased to tell you today that I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
So come to DeOscarize.com to support or prevent my intention to de-Oscarize Chariots of Fire and make Warren Beatty's Reds the new Best Picture of 1981, a film that will only become more and more important as time goes on. Of course, I am a sucker for a good argument. Should you wish to prevent this from happening, it would have to be a compelling argument. Otherwise, Reds shall claim the glory that is rightfully its due, as it was in 1981, and DeOscarize.com is going to do it, as it has many times in the past, and will do so again in the future. Hope you will return to see it happen again.
Perhaps you'd like me to come in there and wash your dick for you. Little shit.